Hello and a warm welcome back to the WenDirkCast with me, Jimbo. As always, we're going to be discussing the SMF updates, transfers, developments, and so much more that's gone on over the last week or so. One important note before we kick off this episode: none of what we chat about is financial advice. Do your own scouting or hire a director of metaverse football. Joining me in the studio today, the third and final member of Yorkshire TNXP. Some criticise his age, but I want to say we'll save the best till last. It's none other than Mr. Bruce Lee. How are you, sir?
I'm good, apart from all the age comments, so thanks, but no, I'm good. Happy to be here. I've been watching this guy since I joined, since I joined, so.
It is criminal how long, I'm going to say we've, to use an excuse, to excuse myself, how we've at WenDirk, me at the moment, how long I've left it to bring you on. But it's just sort of how you've been on two streams. You've been on a pack drop stream and the community stream. Usually it's the other way around. Come on for the pod, then a stream. But you know, now that I've had yourself on, I feel like I can bring all three of you on for a pod. Albeit it may be slightly less carnage. Yeah, no, it might be quite carnage. The pack drop was sort of a it was like a warm up or a tester.
I see.
So for those who are not watching but listening, you've got an absolutely cracking football kit on with a great piece of history behind it. Do you want to say what kit you're wearing and all
that? So as I was saying before we came on, this is probably the most obscure shirt I own, and I have a few, but this is definitely the most. And it's a team in the 10th tier of English football, and they are called Towlaw Town. And the reason I'm wearing it is because of the shirt sponsor.
Work the space.
So, a fellow community member, fellow MFL player. And yeah, it was a series he did during lockdown. Got me through lockdown with his daily videos. They were brilliant, loved them. And so I think they were going into administration or something because of all the lockdowns. They didn't have any funds or anything, and he sponsored them. Bunch of his subscribers bought shirts, and I've done one. I've got a question to ask. If he's not watching today, you need to ask him when he's next on. Do I go, because I've been thinking about putting a name on the back, right? Do I go for the absolute goat and get Shvetsov on the back, or do I go old school and get like the schoolboy Henry Kumwenda on the back? Those are the two names I'd like Jack's input. Who he thinks.
Okay. When he next comes on, I get a chance to speak to him. I'll ask him that question, and then whatever the answer is, you'll get put on the.
I'll get put on the back. Yeah.
On the back of it.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing shirt. I think that's an amazing shirt. You joined, and I went, I didn't recognise it. It looks a bit like Grimsby and Newcastle put together, and then the camera focused. I went, oh, the badge is very nice as well.
I like it. I'm not sure if he had because it's sort of like the stripes fade as it goes lower down. I'm not sure if he had input in like how the kit went, because that's how he designed it on FM. How he designed it. So I don't know if they took that and were like, all right, we'll make that our shirt this season. I don't know.
I mean, if I have one criticism, it's that the sponsor has a background. So, if you take out the background and maybe have the, where there's the black stripe, it's got the white lettering, and then where it's got the white stripe, it's got the black lettering, something groovy like that, or they just sort of interrupt the stripe. But
they are a 10th tier English footballs.
No, that's no. I'm just. I've got to have equal treatment for all of the steps of the pyramid. This is. It's like in the Flint division. It's the 10th tier of football, and I've still got to say, you can't have a background, guys, no matter how far down you are. But maybe I'm trying to think of how we can correlate this and transition to MFL here. Maybe that's when someone in club delegation, you hire someone for the branding, and they use their own MFL to rebrand the club and redo the kits and things like that. Maybe that's someone who has a bit of a flair for creativity. But right, we've got Bruce on. We're going to chat about a little bit about season 12, of course, because we're in it now. We are officially in season 12, albeit the games haven't kicked off. We're going to put them under the spotlight, ask some questions about how we found MFL, that sort of piece. And then we're going to be really focusing on sort of like, what does it actually mean? Or what does it actually mean? Bloody hell, man. What does it actually take to get promoted? So just to sort of quickly jump ahead, Bruce, one of his teams, Black Mamba, has had pretty great rise. Back to back.
Yeah.
Promotions,
Stone, iron, bronze,
yeah. And now in competing in silver. So I think Bruce is a pretty good person to have on to ask, what does it look like getting promoted through the pyramid? What does it actually take? What skills do you need? What do you learn? What mistakes did Bruce potentially make that maybe he can share with you listeners to prevent you guys from making the same mistakes, if he made mistakes, if anything. So right, moment of the week. Have you got your club sorted out for season 12? And are you taking advantage of the club staff, as we're calling it?
Yeah, I'm taking advantage of it both ways.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 Spark teams and a Flint team that I genuinely I have no desire to manage at that level at all. So I've delegated those out, a full squad, given them out for 50% rev share. Just play my guys.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh,
happens,
nice.
happens. I don't have to do it. I don't have to deal with it. But then on the flip side, I've got 2 of Trust's teams. And
Yeah.
probably his 2 most important teams, which is a bit of a responsibility, but one I welcome. So, fully taking advantage of it. I love it. I think it's a great addition to the game, and it's long overdue.
Oh, 100% long overdue. It feels good to finally have it. And I'm in a similar boat where I've loaned one out, and because it's the WenDirk team, which I'll get onto in a bit. And also taken on 2, could potentially be 3. For season 12. Is there a particular moment this week which stands out for you? It's kind of that in-between weird week where nothing really stands out unless you've had like a crazy pack drop pack or something like that. No.
Nope. I did not. I will say, I think being entrusted, because people know Trust doesn't trust people with his players, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't at all.
Yeah, so for him to trust me with his 2 most important teams, the teams he cares about, to manage them and get them up the pyramid, I'd say that's a moment of the week, because I've obviously built up a reputation to where he's comfortable to do that. So
you've gained trust.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's trust. Yeah, it's trust. So that's your moment, your whole week then, on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll always like to ask. It's probably going to be a 7, isn't it?
No. I'll say it's an 8.
Go on then.
I'll say it's an 8. It's been a good week. Good week of testing. I like the new engine.
Oh my word! Do you want to say that again? Repeat that. Can we just
new engine?
We'll
I like the new engine. Yeah. I've had fun testing, and like you said, we're in that funny part. I'm just itching for it to get started, and the annoying thing is it's taking so long and it's dragging to get started, and then it'll go like that, and we'll be at the end of the season, and where's it gone?
We'll have reward day, and it'll be the pre-season patch up for season 13, and we'll be like, oh, we're back in this again. But it does go so quickly. You're right. Yeah. My moment of the week has to be that we've delegated out or hired staff members, to use the correct terminology, for the WenDirk MFC, the WenDirk Community Club, which is really exciting. I kind of was putting it off for a while because we wanted the club staff news to be revealed, and some people were doing a bit of detective work and going, well, the Ramble guys haven't sort of said what they're doing with theirs. Yorkshire T being a bit elusive with gifts when people have been saying it in Discord. And Jimbo's not said a word on how WenDirk is being done yet, was like, oh, maybe. And then I think it was like the first 20 minutes of last week's pod. I said to James, like, yeah, it's coming out. And I think they announced it about 20 minutes before Lucas said they would, but he gave me like a window. So I knew by the time it gets announced, I wouldn't be spoiling anything. But he was like, you don't need to spoil anything. You don't need to worry about anything anyway. It's not like people don't think you know. Like, everyone knows that. Everyone knew that we knew, but we just couldn't say anything about the details to it. But no, but it's really exciting. So we put out a little application out there. Who wants to be? Well, we've got 3 roles. Sporting director. I feel like you have to have a sporting director. I'd love to have a director of metaverse football,
I was
which we'll
going to
come
say
into we'll come into in a short bit. It should be on there. It's criminal.
Yeah.
But I've got some exciting news on that front. Sporting director, manager, and if there was enough interest, a community manager. So I was like, let's try and get a social media account, an X account for the WenDirk team. If someone wants to run it, I can create it, give them a password, and they can have access to it. And if they want to go for it, they can. And fortunately, we did have quite a bit of interest across all of them, and ended up hiring Dan LFC as our sporting director. Zuter and Nathan both applied to be the manager. Zuter sent this absolutely phenomenal CV in, where he'd actually done an MFL related CV. Did I say CSV? CV. And it was like a picture of him, his accolades, his work experience, his strengths. I'm not sure if there's weaknesses on there.
Is that
I'll have to go double check. I don't mind. If Zuter's happy with us sharing it, yeah, I'll share it so you guys can see what he put. So he wanted to become the manager. Nathan wanted to be the manager as well. I thought, well, actually, I don't really want to put this to a vote and let the community pick, unless there was like 3 or 4 people that had applied to be the manager. I thought, actually, let me contact both and say, guys, you both want to be the manager. Let's get you both in as duo, a manager and assistant manager, and you can both manage it so that you can have the tactic stuff between you. So we got Zuter. We brought him in as our manager, and Nathan Ma as our assistant manager, which is going to be a quite lovely dynamic duo there. And then for the community manager side, we've got Domenico, and he said he put like a big long thing in the Discord, and also sent me a DM saying he'd done like previous branding stuff or like community stuff for his MFL team, but he sort of lost the wayside with it because he couldn't keep up with it, but wanted to sort of have another go at it. So I gave him the details, and he's been smashing it with a couple of posts, to be fair, like squad announcement, captain announcement, new players, and he seems to be loving it. He's like having a great time. So we've got all 4 of them on, which is really, really exciting. And I'm very much looking forward to what happens in season 12. And the reason why the director of Metaverse Football comes into this, because Luca said in the pack drop, I think it was a pack drop stream, he said, if WenDirk MFC wins ICE, he said in brackets, without stacking it too much, I don't think they have, they'll add director of Metaverse Football in as a title. And I'm saying, guys, if you need any more incentive, not just to get the club up, not to make the fans proud, but for the whole game, everyone playing gets an extra role, an aesthetic title to have in there. And then, sporting director of Metaverse Football, that sounds so much better. And it's criminal it's not in there, but they give us opportunity, so we're gonna have to grasp it. So those 4 will be under contract on a 1-year basis, maybe potentially a rolling contract depending on how it goes. There was some community uproar. Some of the fans were getting a bit restless after SUFC Blades was not hired as our branding officer. To which I say, he'll get his chance one day. It's just not now. But ultimately, if he doesn't apply for the job, you can't get the job. So, so we've got that. That's probably the
You can't seriously be considering giving Blades it at any point, really. Surely not.
I mean, if the community fancies it, I've got to listen to the community, haven't I? Maybe I have to be very, very, very active with the permissions daily. Daily permissions I have to change. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to change the branding." Yeah. Revoke straight away. And then he's like, "Oh, give it back," and then revoke it. So, But yeah, he'll probably message me now that he's when he hears this bit. But that's probably the moment of the week. I'm probably going to give it a 9. I'd say hard to give it a 10 out of 10 when there's no games being played and there's no sort of cups being won and things like that. So I will give it a 9. So 8 and a 9, 17 out of 20. I think that's pretty decent. Dev updates. Aside from the club staff and all that, and the Flint Staff League being announced, the dev update. So the official engine for season 12 has been released, and as Bruce said earlier, he's quite happy with it. We kept monitoring the metrics of the new engine, leading to a small patch that has been deployed to reduce the number of yellow cards. Work has resumed on the implementation of new XP and energy systems, which are necessary for the introduction of the substitutions feature. Yellow cards or cards in general were quite a big talking point in the engine last season, highlighted in the mid-season report, particularly in the upper divisions within the pyramid. From your testing, meticulous testing you've done this week, pre and post, if you want to call it that, have you noticed any reduction in yellow cards at all?
There's definitely a reduction. What I'm finding weird, and I've brought this up to a couple, and they say it might just be variance, but I don't know. I've played an obscene amount of test games, but I seem to get more cards on balanced than on more aggressive, which is just weird. Like, to me, it just makes no logical sense. But I've definitely got more yellows. I've got as many reds on both, and it's just like, this shouldn't be the way, should it? But definitely reduced. Like, so to be fair, I've not looked at the split like positions. I haven't noticed which. But yeah, my left back isn't getting sent off every game, so it's all right.
Yeah, about like last season as well. Left mids and right mids were getting hammered. Particularly, they had like a low physical stat, or they were getting smashed. And I think I had left mid was sent off twice, right mid was sent off twice, and it's just I wasn't surprised at all because it happened during in some of the preseason as well. When you were saying you were noticing like more yellows on balance compared to aggressive, is that you testing against different clubs, or is that sort of like repetitive against the same club?
So yes, I will go through different clubs and challenge different ones. So I've got a wide variety of tactics I'm coming up against, and I mean it's just I go off the eye test, and it's just I always seem to get I'd have a game on balanced, and I've got 4 yellow cards, and then I'd switch it to more aggressive and none, and I'm like, hold on, like, that's just
maybe I think this is with MFL when they could replace the word variance or replace the variance factor here and just say it's referee personalities. And then someone would go, actually, do you know what? It's a derby day or first game of the season. It's a relegation battle, whatever, and go, actually, more yellow cards is because of this referee. Well, actually, it's variance. Maybe we need to give referees personalities.
Yeah, they don't need to package it as variance. Package it, like you said, give it flavour. Give it, extra stuff. Yeah, it's referee personality. I love that. I love
that. And people will go, well, it takes people away from the whole V word, the variance word. Club delegation won't touch over it. They fixed a few bugs, and they've been working on the Flint Staff League, how they're going to sort of actually implement the experience boost, 20% experience boost for the matches. Shareable images. We put a focus on our new tool to generate images. Very exciting. Like at the end of the match or the club banner, we should release it soon, allowing you to generate the images very quickly and allowing us to use them as thumbnails when someone shares a link from MFL. And that's a really nice piece. Because at the moment, if you share any MFL link on your socials, whether Discord, Twitter, wherever, it just comes up with sort of the basic MFL thumbnail. If you could share the link and, it's like, big win 2-1, and the link that you share shows the match result on, people are more interested to click on it. I know I've been forward a few times when, I think, is it like Polymarket or something like that? Someone posts like one of the, like, will this happen by X? It's all the graphs, like yes or no percentages. And I've clicked on it thinking it's an image and it's not. And I've gone, oh man, that's bad from me. But But yeah, I've always loved the shareable images. At the moment, it's kind of a weird place where you generate it, it will fail, but then if you refresh and do it, it works. And it's a very odd workaround. If you're not familiar with it, you just think they're constantly broke, basically. So hopefully that's up and running because people like Domenico, our community manager for WenDirk, will be able to quickly generate them and produce some amazing posts. And it will definitely incentivize people to, not necessarily incentivize, but yeah, to post it more often on socials if it's going to display that thumbnail. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I used to do. Like, but this was when we had the cartoons.
Yeah.
I used to do that, but then yeah, since the new one came out, it's broke. You try to generate, it doesn't. You have to go in and do it, and I just got bored.
Yeah.
But if it's easier, smoother, then yeah, it's something I definitely, because it's easy to just generate the image and look at my result I got tonight, and it's
Yeah.
anything that can share, is shareable, so that you can get it out on social media, making that as easy as possible, because it's just more eyes on the product, more eyes on
And
the game.
exactly, it's an easy to share, say, within our communities as well. Like the Yorkshire TNXP, Discord, Wendirk, Ramble, and like the channels that we have when we talk about the games, rather than saying, "Oh, like check out my win link," or take a screenshot. You can just paste it and go big win, and you can see that you see like 2-1 win, 92nd minute winner, and you're like, "Bosh, come on, big win." You just get that information and that context straight away, but in a really fancy graphic. Training. This is a big one. We've started exploring ways to let you customize training sessions, although it is still early stage research. And I'll quickly do the last ones before we come back to that. Work on the interface, custom kits on players. Continue to work. Cool. Right. Anyway, back to the more important stuff. Customized training sessions. Excited about that, Bruce? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm sick of seeing my strikers get defending and my defenders get shooting. Like, I'm
You
so sick.
don't you don't want your centre back getting +10 shooting over his career compared to +2 defending. You don't want that, no?
Absolutely
No?
not.
No?
No.
Not maybe if you think to the future when we can make tactical plans for set pieces, and then you want the centre backs coming up. Fuck them all freedom. I think it's a hokey option for bringing centre backs up for corners. Let us preset corners.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then be an Arsenal, be a really, really aesthetically pleasing team to watch that week in, week out within the Premier League. Not the absolute
Yeah.
bottle jobs.
So, yeah,
Although they did beat Spurs, but Spurs are Spurs.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I look forward to it. I'm interested to see how they implement that in terms of it's early stage research. So we don't know what exactly it will look like. If it's anything, I was going to say, it's anything like club delegation, it'll be 2 years until it arrives. But yeah, sorry, that was supposed to be a dig, but it came out. I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, I apologize." And but maybe it could be you can customize training, but there's an opportunity cost where extra, fatigue or some, or I don't know. Just speaking some some initial thoughts. Do you have any idea how it would look, or how would you like it to look potentially?
I think the thing that I'd be worried about is if suddenly there's a tool in there to make every player 99 pace or something like that. I think
Yeah,
maybe just a redistribution, like, because right now they do like 50% of the XP goes to all your stats, and then the other 50% goes to the key stats for that position. I
yeah,
think maybe just being able to rejig that a little bit, so on a striker, attacking stats get slightly more priority than the other one. Like,
yeah.
rather than it just all being 50-50 flat, like maybe like, oh, I want my strikers to get more passing this week, so like concentrate on that.
A,
I
a bit
think
like I was going to use again because I've been playing Fallout recently, but I guess actually they have this system within Football Manager. I'm pretty sure when you create your manager for the first time and you have like the stats or their personality stuff, and you have 10 points to allocate, and you can put some up, some down. You place some more for shooting, but you put some less for dribbling, and you have to sort of balance it, and you can't go all the way to one side completely without sacrificing something major the other side. And you're right about the whole pace piece, and it's either yourself or some others, maybe both brought it up in the Discord shortly after this dev update was announced, that left mid, right mid, centre mid, 0% is allocated towards pace. If you could somehow force everything towards pace, you could have an insane card with actually zero impact on the overall, which is kind of like anti-progression in that sense. But you'd happily take no progress. Well, maybe it's a Dirk dilemma. Would you take no progression for an absolutely insane card based in the engine? You probably would. If it particularly if it's an older player, or well, not an older player because you're not going to get as much XP to increase the stats, but a left mid, right mid, a centre mid who's got 99 pace. It's a pace on centre mids is a premium. So even things like CDMs, it's a premium. So because of how important it is, and you can just tick, positional freedom, make them a box to box, you give them pace and high defending, and you're like, whoa, hang on, we're cooking here. A couple positions where if you can just max out 3 stats, they become really, really deadly. So I'm interested to see what that turns out to be. But I think there'd probably be some like opportunity costs of customizing training sessions. But
I like what you said with the Fallout system. It's sort of like, you've got 10 points. They're all evenly split. And this week I want to put a little bit more on shooting. So maybe I take a little bit off defending and add those points to shooting. I think that's a great system.
I wonder if it could be like a weekly thing, or you have to commit to it to a season. You have to lock it in, because a season kind of a bit like going to dev gel. You have to commit to something, and it's sort of staked. It's locked in for a season, so you've got to live with the consequences if it doesn't go right. You have to commit time to it, rather than like, oh, it's not worked for 5 days, let me just change it. Maybe people can try and figure out, even if there's not necessarily a game-breaking loophole, if there's a potential to find one, you guarantee this community will find it. Yeah. Because we see that even with like pre-season cups and gold rush, if there's a way to loot, to break something, gain advantage, they're definitely going to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to the next couple of dev updates. Hopefully we get some more information on the custom kits on players, because I'm quite I'll be a big fan of that.
I that used to jar me when we had the cartoon players. I used to hate it. Now, not so much. I'm not that bothered, but it'd still be cool to have. Yeah, but when it was the cartoons, it was sort of like, I've got a green kit, and then a dude pops up with a bright pink shirt. I'm like, no, go away.
There was, so it's really funny you say that, and we bring this up because there's a particular kit out there which is like a green and orange hoops that goes around, and someone in the office walked in with a jumper with that pan, and my head just went, oh my god, it's an MFL kit. Oh my word. I'm about to say to them like, this is where I recognise your kit, and I immediately held myself back from explaining to them because it would have been really awkward. By the way, your kit reminds me of a Web3 kit from a game that I play, and they'd have been like, what have you been smoking on a Friday morning, Jimbo? Just keep making maps and put your headphones in again, right? So yeah, right. Let's move on to the Diamond League. I'm going to share my screen with you here, Bruce, so we can sort of see who we've got. Because I guess last time we recorded, Kev stayed in the Diamond division. So we do have our 12 teams in Diamond this season. So we've got Meta Mercenaries, Rishoni Milano, Club Atletico Tango, Amsterdam Lions, MFC Roma, Raj making it back in, Los Galacticos of Sid, Soul Iron Pigs of Orange Fly, of course, La Fury Espinola. Kev's getting his second run out after a great season, sort of towards the end of last season, and keeping himself in the division in that 9th v 3rd or 2nd, whatever, 9th playoff spot. Yoga Benito, London, Sturge. I want to say maybe potentially I was going to say the Norwich of MFL. They're not. Maybe the Norwich between like 2013, 2019, where you go up, you come down, you go up, you come down, you go up, you come down. That's what Yoga Benito London's done for quite a long time in these 12 seasons. GTA Ontario, managed by Greninja. Sao Paulo of OK, yeah, sure. And then Hamburg Harmony of Fortress Agency, which I think is one of those where it's him, Big Wilb, and Trust. Yeah, it's a little bit of a DAO situation, a club delegation piece going on. First and foremost, Bruce, when it comes to Diamond Division as a whole, are you a pretty big fan of it? Do you keep an eye on what's going on in this peak of our pyramid?
I have done since I joined.
My man.
Always kept an eye on Diamond. Followed the clubs that the managers that are in there, because I like to watch what they're doing, pay attention to what they're doing. So yeah, I do want to say very happy to see MFC Roma back there in Diamond, because seeing them not in there was just weird. It was just weird for me. Like, how can that happen? So I'm glad to see Fraj back there. Yeah, should be a good season, I think.
If you had a let's not say £100, let's say 100,000 MFL, which you had to place and wager on someone winning the division, who would that be?
This season, my bet is for Sid. I think Sid's going to do it this season.
Yeah, okay.
This is his season.
I like that. He came second last season. Yeah, had a phenomenal season. And I think I said it on the last pod or during the Pack Drip stream. It's one of those where you kind of feel a bit sorry for him in a sense, because he had a phenomenal season, and the one season has a phenomenal season. Metamercs has their joint best ever season, which is, a tough one. I feel like one of us has to go boring. So I'm gonna go boring. We could have gone with the hashtag boring Bruce if we would have gone for Meta Mercenaries, but we're not. We're gonna go boring Jimbo. Are we?
Have you seen his feedback?
That's what I mean. I think it's a bit like F1 testing. They don't want to. They want to complain and say things and stir the pot. But actually, when it comes out, they win the first 9 games, and he goes, "Well, I've figured it out." Then I think he's playing a little bit of the F1 trickery here. I'm going to back Meta Mercenaries to win, but I'm going to make a bold statement. It's not a bold, because I predict every season, so it has to come. It comes off once every 10 seasons or so. That someone in the top 3, our win of the Titans Cup won't be a top 3 league finisher. Which, if people have listened since season 1, I literally say that every season. Every season I say Meta Mercenaries, and the Titans Cup winner isn't a top 3. I think it's the Meta Mercenaries one's coming quite a bit, but the top 3 one I think is like once or twice when Tango and people win it. But that's why, folks, this week's hashtag is whoever you think is going to win Diamond. Hashtag whoever you think is going to win Diamond. And I want you to post it in the MFL Discord, in the WenDirk Discord. Good Bruce is on. Pop it in the Yorkshire TNXP Discord. I remember when we did this last time, when you put hashtag MFC Roma, to which Fraj went, fire emoji, love that from you. And then about half an hour later went, I've just got up with the pod. Why have you said hashtag MFC Roma? Which I thought was great.
That season, he had a really good start as well. Like, he had a really good start. I was like, holy shit, he might actually win it.
Yeah, it is great to see Fraj back in there. I always like it when Sturge and Yoganito London's in there as well. He seems to bounce around a lot. And I think that was one of the sort of like Div or Season 1, starting Diamond teams. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. As far as I'm aware, I think Brian O'Kay-Shaw is tanking this season. We're not 100%
I saw that.
sure.
He's got everything for sale, hasn't he?
Yeah, and his squad is max. Yeah, so we could have an 11-man league, folks. We've got an 11-man league. So yeah, which you don't like to see, but I think it's just circumstances, etc. I've not kept too up to date with it, if I'm completely honest. But we've got Fabrizio Pozzovivo, which is Fabrizio's Italian cousin. This is where it gets really awkward now if Fabrizio Romano is actually Italian. I think he's Spanish, isn't he? I actually don't know. I don't know what nationality is Fabrizio Romano. Do you know, Bruce?
I don't. It sounds Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian, so it can't be his Italian cousin. It's just his cousin. Just his. Well, it's his Italian cousin. Right. Let's come away from that. Let's move on to this week's Splash of the Week. And actually, you guys might already know this because it was actually posted by MFL on Discord. I'm not sure if they said Splash of the Week on it. You know,
They
they
did.
can't.
I think they
Trade.
did.
Did they?
I think
Hang
they
on,
did.
I
Yeah.
need. They didn't give me my MFL for my bounty for that bug, and now I need to get that trademarked or copyrighted or something, whatever the correct terminology is. So I get the royalties every time someone says it. A bit like Nep and his pen ref in the 16th and all 15th, whatever it was, and all that sort of stuff. But this week's Splash of the Week goes by the name of Waldemar Furtado, a 90 rated Uruguayan cam being purchased by Lurker, being sold by Kinju for 975 United States dollars. May not be increased in tariffs tax from 10 to 15%. We don't know. Yeah, to see what the import fee is. So 90 rated cam, 21 years old, a very young cam, not being minted at 21, minted at 18. He is an older ID only by a new ID. Got my words the wrong way there. He's a newer ID only by about 7,000. Not that it makes a difference because it's not like the closer you are to 78,000, the longer your career is. It's literally a black and white. So he's a cam left wing, 84 pace, 83 shooting, 92 passing, 94 dribbling, 32 defense for those that care about defending on a cam, and then 59 physical. Bruce, I'm actually going to share my screen with you because probably
How has he got that so cheap? That seems really cheap.
See, yeah, when I first saw it as well, I thought that's a really good price for a 90 rated cam. That's 21. Progression wise, he's gone up the minted at 88, he's gone 89, 90, and he's held. Well, I never know. Maybe that could be part of the reason. I know there's a slim chance he's hit prime age.
At
But when I
21?
see a chance, I just think of Dempsey. I just think of a guy goes +1 and then flatlines. Albeit this guy's gone +2. I guess you could say maybe part of the reason is his pace and his shooting for a 90 rated cam is probably below average. His passing and dribbling is pulling up that overall slightly. So it's not quite a one-trick pony. Maybe call it a two-trick pony with the pass dribbling. But I do agree with you, Bruce. I think it's a pretty good price.
He's got a great deal. He's
Yeah.
got a great deal there, I think.
And, on average, he'd have 14 seasons left in him till he hits 35. 13 if we're going to say the final season isn't really a full season, but it's a full season of earning rather than playing. So I think it's a pretty good pickup. But I'll be interested to see what his sort of, his pace and his shooting, like if they could improve a bit, because those will pull up the stats.
You can work around that. Like you can just set him up differently so that it doesn't really factor. I think.
Yeah.
You don't need a shooting in cam. You just make him a facilitator.
Exactly. If he's clearly not bought him in to be that, pacey, striking cam. He's brought him in to be the playmaker, and they're the stats that you have to be a playmaker. And it's funny because playmakers are usually quite weak players physically in real life, and 59 physical. When you look at that from a physical point of view, you're always like, ooh. But sometimes players like cams and centre forwards do have some whack stat distribution where their physical will be crazy low. Some wingers have great dribbling, shooting, and pace, and have 40 physical.
I've got one.
Yeah. And you just imagine, like, the gust of wind hits them or something, and they're going to knock over, or God forbid injuries come in, and suddenly maybe the physical stat interferes with how long they're out for. That's pure speculation. I have nothing to back that up, by the way. Before someone goes, "Oh, you're leaking it."
Giving them ideas, though. You've just given them
ideas. Yeah. Less than 45, and you're out for a season. But above 45, you're only out for half a season. But yeah, that's this week's Splash of the Week. Marketplace wise, Bruce, are you a man that has done any wheeling and dealing this off season?
No, I got all mine done really quickly. I just needed The only thing I needed was rotation pieces moving up into silver, because the rotation pieces I had probably weren't strong enough for bronze.
Mm,
So moving up to silver, it was like, you guys can't continue. So I just got a couple of rotation pieces just as backups.
mm.
And I got that done pretty early. I got that done before rollover even, and I got lucky with one of them, who was 29 when I bought him, rolled over, no retirement symbol. So I'm quite happy with that. But
Mm.
other than that, haven't needed to. I've got everyone else set. All my teams are ready to go.
Decent.
So yeah.
It's a nice position to be when you got your teams done. Like, and are you one of those that you feel like your team's sort of, you're worried, and then within about 24 hours you're done? I find that with my wyverns, that I'm like, oh, well, I've got 4 positions to fill here, and then the time it gets to Saturday, you know what, I'm actually kind of cushy. Like, I've sorted it all out. It kind of all comes together very quickly, but that start, I do get quite worried sometimes that I've not. But that's also because I rely on loans a bit, so I've got to
You
rely
will.
on external agencies, which you're never sure if you can have that, that supply in each season.
Yeah. This is my favorite part of the season, the squad building. And then it's like, I love building my squads, getting them ready, getting the tactics ready. But I get it done so quickly that then I'm sat here for 4 days, like, start the season now.
Do you think that sometimes has a negative impact on not tactics, but do you think maybe you overdo testing sometimes because you've got so much time with those squads you fitted out?
um,
Or you
I
can
don't
just say that's a load of nonsense. I'm just challenging you for the sake of
know.
it.
I don't think so. I think I don't think you can ever overdo it with tactics, honestly. But
Oh,
that's how
I
I am.
think you can. I
Some
think
people
you
can, some
can.
people can,
I
but
think on an individual level, I think you can. Because I like to be, I had to take a different approach to it this season because of running the BFC Barcelona in platinum, where a lot of my testing has been just purely platinum, because I want to get that set out and sorted. And then the wyverns, everything sort of cascades down from that. So, and I always find that the more time I have to think about things and test, the more I really focus on like a couple of odd results and why did that happen, rather than sometimes just going, my tactics work for 90% of the teams I play against. Don't focus too much on that 5 or 10%, which might just have tactics and players suited to play against you. I've done some testing, and I feel like I've been doing good testing and having good results with the setup I've got with BFC Barcelona. And then I'll play Bills, MFC Napoli 5 at the back. And it's not too dissimilar in terms of, like overalls and stats within the players. I just can't get through it at all. And I'm like, do I focus on trying to beat that 5 at the back, which is a nailed on focusing 5 at the back, or do I make sure that I don't fucking lose every week and in every match day? And it's kind of getting priorities. So I think when I've got too much time, I focus on those smaller results too much and make some changes where I don't need to. But also definitely a correlation between caring and results. Sometimes if I say caring, my Stone team last season was sort of a set and forget, that sort of nature,
yeah.
came second. And I'm like, whoa, hang on, what is going on here? This wasn't meant to be. And now I'm sitting there going, I've got a Villain Iron team, which fortunately I loaned loads out last year so I can
Just
bring
bring it in.
my boys back at the disappointment of fellow managers, which I'm sort of like, well, I'm a very selfless guy, so I've got to be selfish this season. I've got to keep them in. But yeah, right. Before we get into our little manager spotlight, we've got some community questions for the pair of us, Bruce.
Okay.
So, first question comes in from your fellow co-host, Big Mr. K.
Fuck off already. Straight away.
What was it like growing up with just black and white TVs? Followed by, what was World War II like? And I'll actually add to that, what was World War I like?
For the people who are listening and not viewing, I am currently holding up my middle finger directed directly at Mr. K. And now Jimbo, because he's added to it.
It feels like I'm playing GTA Online or playing GTA when you can just stick your middle finger up the whole time as an emo. And you're just driving a car, you look in the passenger seat, it's just passenger just straight giving you the middle finger. So it feels like. So, okay, the answer middle finger.
Yeah.
What's Bruce? This one comes in from Kenny. What's Bruce's favorite C word?
Ooh. Ooh. My
Yeah.
favorite C word.
Yeah.
So there's a couple that I do like.
Yeah.
One is common pack. Uh,
Oh dear. Oh, I don't want to hear the other ones. The way you got emphasis on that C there, I thought it was
do you
gonna.
want to mark down the time so you can beep out my favorite word?
Yeah. I've written down the time, Bruce. You can go ahead and say your favorite C word.
My favorite.
I'll
C
hear
word.
it, but the folks won't.
Well, if you're Australian or English, you'll know that it's
You absolute bastard.
love it. I
I
know all
can't.
the American viewers are going to hate it, but we don't care in
No,
England. It's just a word.
I can't. No. I apologise to everyone who had to hear that, which fortunately will be none of you, because I'm gonna bleep that out, because I do not want that being said on the pod.
You know, we're on YouTube as well, aren't we?
Yeah. Any other favourite C words? What about controlled? Do you play controlled?
No, I prefer direct.
Yeah. Okay. Not a balanced man.
Depends. It honestly depends. I think this engine direct seems to be favoured, though I will go balanced. But I think controlled comes in certain formations. There's certain formations where it works really, really well. So, yeah.
A great one here from Taggart. Would you rather lick a lemon every time you see one, or play 5 at the back? Which I need to ask you the question: have you played 5 at the back as a formation in a season for more than one game in a season?
Yes.
Oh yeah, fucker.
I have a video out like a few seasons ago where I built a team based entirely on defense. Like all the main stats were defense.
Yes.
And we played 5-4-1 and went undefeated and smashed everyone. Like wasn't like 1-0 wins, it was like 4-5-0 domination. Like, and one of Trust's teams is a 5 at the back.
I saw that, yeah.
He gave it to me specifically. He was like, I saw you on Rumble. I saw you like 5 at the back. So I've given you a 5 at the back. I was like,
yeah. When he spoke to me, he was like, "Oh, Jimbo, so Norwich?" I was like, yeah. He said, "You want to take it over?" I went, "Yeah, sure." I said, "I've got one condition though, no 5 at the back." She's like, "Right, we'll do a 4-2-2 and a 4-1-2-1-2 rotation for you then." I was like, "Sound, appreciate that, Trust." So, I mean, I like going on holiday to sort of like Spain and Mediterranean. So I feel like if I went back to Seville or something, I'd really struggle with the whole lemon piece. I feel like I see a lot of. Does that mean if I see a lemon, like like a lemonade, little fizzy drinks like the posh Fantas? You may not get them up north. Might not get them up north. You might not.
I just know Fanta. It's orange, mate. I don't know about.
No, I still can't play 5 at the back.
Can I just point something out to you here, Jimbo?
Yeah, go on.
You are playing 5 at the back.
No, don't give me the no. I knew you'd exactly would say this. Oh, just a 3-5-2 is just a weird way of looking at 5.
How do you set up your wide players?
Huh?
How do you set up your wide players? How do you set them up?
How do I
they
set
help
them
on
up?
defense?
No.
Oh, not all.
No,
They don't
not
help
at
on
all.
defense at all.
No. And I don't help at all. Because if you look at the defensive stats on each fucking left and right mids, they are hocus pocus. They've got nothing for them. So there's a reason why. No, I see what you mean though.
Yeah.
And part of me's gone, oh well, maybe if I did play 5 at the back, I would just use the excuse that it's just a different way of looking at 3 at the back. But I've gone too deep now. Then the worst that can happen to me now is that 5 at the back becomes like a meta play, and then I'm really screwed because there's a I might get relegated. I might have to not play for one. I might have to not from being bad, just from not registering for a season until the engine changes, and then I'll come back into the game again.
That would be banter if if it became the meta and everybody in your division went 5 at the back for that season.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there, boys. Anybody in Bronze 8?
I'd have to boycott. I'd have to boycott that season, I think.
Yeah, I swear you're playing 5 at the back anyway, mate. You are.
No. Well, let's see what my teams come out with match day 1 of season 12, hey? Slippery Fish, name 5 of your favourite things about Mr. Root Cause. And if there's too many, we'll let you go to 10.
I think. No, sorry, I can't.
Oh, that's fair. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Joe, no, Root's
That's fair enough.
amazing. Root's class. Root's great. I'm
He's a
just
top
joking.
guy,
He
isn't he?
knows. Yeah, he's a good lad.
He's a top guy, especially when there's a couple of rum and cokes.
Oh,
and
yes.
a couple of drinks, particularly on a
We can
Friday
always
evening.
tell. We can always tell. Yeah.
It's funny. Certain words and phrases come out. I go, you've had a few drinks, pal. You've had a few. Blade just said one here. He goes, "Who? Wow, hang on. Can I ring Zeus up and get a translator on this one? If I just send him a picture of what Blade just said, who out if you all can name most English football teams or grounds in a min?" Technically, it's two questions there because teams and grounds are two separate things. 600 pack to the winner, or 600 common reward packs to the winner.
600 common reward packs. Let's do it.
Well, it depends. Am I reading that wrong? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think. Go on. Let my Yorkshire speak. Who can name the most? It's got to be one or the other. Most English clubs or most English grounds. One or the other. It can't be both.
I think because I think the one that's probably more pressurized probably the grounds.
Yes.
So do you want to do if it keeps going for minutes and it says most in a minute, but I was thinking maybe do you want to go like back and forth on it?
How do we whoever fails and can't come up?
Or because whoever fails. Or
Okay.
do you just so crikey, that's going to start.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Whoever fails.
And then we'll do only MFL stadiums. No. Meta stadium, your own stadiums, and then nothing else. Nothing else. Right, I'll go. I'll start us first. It's English grounds. Let's go with let's start easy. Carrow Road.
That's not a stadium.
Carrow Road.
You said Carrow Road? How did you say it?
Carrow Road.
Oh, is that how you say it in Norwich?
If my full-time employment was in the agricultural sector, and so was my 7 generations, is probably how I'd say it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Carrow Road, Wembley.
The Empty Had.
I'll allow that. Old Trafford.
St James's Park.
Emirates.
Selhurst Park.
Stamford Bridge.
Bramall Lane.
Anfield.
Hillsborough.
Upton Park. It exists.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll go London Stadium then. I'll go for that.
Okay. The Berlin Ground.
Fuck. The what ground?
The Berlin Ground.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Berlin, and I was like, hang on,
Berlin.
mate, that's a different country altogether, fella. Let's go. Oh, I'm going to go non-league here. The Diva Stadium, which is Chester's ground.
Okay.
As a university student, I know it.
Fair enough. Molyneux.
Oh my word, Goodison Park. Sorry, for some reason I wanted to say like Toffee Ground, but I don't know why I wanted to go Toffee. I couldn't think of the top. I was trying to think of their new one as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the new name is.
Is it like something Dickinson, like Tom?
It's a name, isn't it? Like
it's first name, surname, isn't it?
I will go with. I think it's new. Is it Tottenham Stadium now? What's it called? Is it New White Hart Lane or something like that? I'll just go White Hart Lane. White Hart
Lane. Vicarage Road.
Villa Park.
Ooh, Craven Cottage.
Ooh,
little Craven Cottage. Ooh.
Did you say Bramall Lane?
Yeah.
Okay. KC Stadium.
Loftus Road. I think it's still called that. I think Loftus Road is still QPR, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes they rename it like it's stupid, like their sponsor or something. You know those clubs that do that?
Yeah. Pride Park.
Rico Arena.
Reebok Stadium.
Ooh. Millennium Stadium.
Ooh. St Andrews.
St Mary's.
Ooh. Now it's trying to remember which ones you've done. Elland Road.
Ooh, scum. The Den.
Millwall.
Millwall, yeah.
Right, okay. Have you done Portman Road?
No.
Portman Road.
I was gonna do my first one. I was gonna go Portaloo Road, but I didn't. The Vitality.
Ooh. I know the one I want to do. I can't remember its name.
5, 4.
What? There's a timer?
Well, we can't go on forever, can we? There's got to be some time pressure in here. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Oh, I'm going to kick myself when this is done.
2, 1.
Bournemouth. Where's Bournemouth? What's that stadium?
I just said the Vitality. That was.
Oh,
what
you
I just
said that. That's the
well.
fucking.
Well, to be fair, no, you've done well because the second you said one, I was going to immediately go Amex. I was just going to smash one back in. No, I think we did pretty good there, and I apologise for all those who don't support anything to do with English football. Because it happened to 2-3 minutes of us naming English stadiums. But I can't wait to receive my 600 packs from Blades. I can't wait for it. And the final question comes.
Blades. You better send them.
Yeah, better send them.
Hard for that.
Yeah, we did. This one comes in from Sky. Would you rather A, the top 10 was this is towards me looking at the answers. The top 10 players of your agency are always wing backs, or Norwich lose their next 5 games to Ipswich? I can get over losing 5 games to Ipswich, I reckon. I'm not sure I can get over having wing backs. And I'm just going to actually check, do I actually own any, I never purchased one. Do I own any wing backs in my agency? Like primary position wise?
I doubt you do.
I have one in the development centre for some reason. Who's 21, 46 rated. I have a 19-year-old 53 rated. They're both left wing backs. Aside from that, only 3 players by prime position out of my 146 are wing backs, and they're lower than 54 rated. So I'll take that. Nah, I mean, 5 losses in a row. I say I could get over it. I probably couldn't. After not seeing Norwich lose until this season for 17 years to Ipswich, all I need is 4 more losses, to have 5, which actually is like many seasons away.
If there are any Norwich fans watching right now and Norwich lose their next 5 games against Ipswich, you know exactly who to blame.
Not cutting my hair until Norwich lose 5 games in a row against Ipswich.
Oh my God.
How much? Right. Anyway, thank you for all your questions, folks. Appreciate them as always. So does Bruce with his middle finger from earlier. Let's get into a bit more about MFL now. We've dissected and we've sort of gone a little bit away. Let's come back. So, what does it actually take to get promoted? But before we get into that, Bruce, let's allow you to talk a little bit about your MFL story. So a good place to start is right at the beginning. How did you find MFL and what attracted you to it? Take us right to the start.
So I kick myself now because I was, during the boom of NFTs and stuff like that, I was heavily involved in a lot of NFTs. And I remember, I think it was 2022. I remember seeing MFL get announced because I remember the cartoon pictures, the player cards. Yeah. And I remember seeing it and think, oh my God, that's a really good idea. But at that time, I was so jaded with NFT gaming because so many NFT projects are coming, we've got a game, buy these. And I was so jaded with it at that point. And I was like, that's a good idea, but I'm just not doing it anymore. And then I buy FM. I used to buy it religiously. I've played FM. The first Football Manager game I played was in the post. It was done in the post.
Oh,
I've did it for that long.
Just after World War II.
Fuck off. Right. But I got to a point in lockdown where I was like, why am I buying it every year for a roster update? So I started buying every 2 years. And the last one I'd bought was Football Manager 23. So when Football Manager 25 was coming around, I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to buy my next Football Manager. obviously that got cancelled. So I was like,
Yep.
fuck, what am I going to do for Football Manager? And then that's when I saw Work the Space put out a tweet. And he said, if he was something just as like, has anybody tried MFL? What do you think? Is it worth it? And I just thought, I remember that. So I
Yeah, I
looked
remember that.
into it. And obviously there was they had the site, they had the players, they had leagues running. And I was like, holy shit, this is that game that I saw.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, I was hooked in straight away, but I do kick myself because I could have got in at 2022. And at that time I had a lot of like chuck away money for NFTs.
Yeah.
I could have been running right now. I could have been running.
Yeah, you could have just gone 59 points in diamond and be having like your eighth diamond title of this, of this
Yeah.
of this era. You could be Ronan. You could be Ronan.
Could have been, should have.
So you joined around what, season 4, season 5 probably?
Yeah, so I got my first club for season 5. That's when I first participated. But I was watching in season 4 because I wanted to get an idea of like what was going on. So started watching what's it called? Mastering MFL, Calva.
Yeah. Go
So
on, Calva.
He taught me so much about MFL. Right? I watched his entire videos, what you can do and everything. I watched all them. And then I found out WenDirk from that. And yeah, I just got hooked. I can remember as well, I was itching because everyone said, wait for the club promo to buy your first pack. I was fucking itching for it to come out. I want my club now. I want to brand it. I was really looking forward to it. And I've just been hooked ever since. So.
Like many others who get hooked, did you have one club for like a season and then shortly after that it just sort of grows exponentially? Because I feel like it did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got this vague memory of you sort of maybe for like a seasonal bit not having the biggest agency or clubs, being a bit hesitant at times until you get more familiar with it, and then suddenly it was like one season where you just went crazy, and I was sort of like, damn, Bruce is. I mean, he already had the bug, but he's fully got the MFL bug now. Is that how it went?
It pretty much exactly like that. I got my first club. The players I had were just the players I was using. Like I didn't have any, expanded agency or anything. I played my first season. When I think back on the squad I had, it wouldn't even compete in Flint now. But back then I got third in my very first season. Got into the playoffs. Got knocked out of the playoffs. But I was like, oh my god, this is a fucking amazing. And then I bought my second club, which was the one that has now become Fortress, which is the one that I did the experiment with, like the next season. So I was going on an extra club every season, and then I think there was a couple of seasons ago, I was just like, yeah, more clubs, and now I'm on like 9, 10 now.
It's funny because you've got well, for those who aren't aware, you also co-host an MFL podcast, Yorkshire TNXP. I guarantee that all of our listeners and watchers watch and listen to that as well. If not, all of it's down below. It's an amazing MFL podcast. But Big Mr. Gay was like, condensing my clubs down, and now he's now he feels like the English trust basically.
He is. We checked, he's 9th on the leaderboard for clubs and he's 14th on the leaderboard for players.
So really, he must be the biggest British agency. You'll never sing that, he'll start laughing on about that now. Also, you had the same. Well, you never said you were going to condense, but you just sort of. Some people go, "Oh, I'm not going to add." So I'm not going to go. I'm not going to add, and then you add. I feel like Root's also sort of gone down a similar.
He did the exact same thing when we started the pod. He had like 8 clubs, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to just focus on these 3," and now he's on 12. Not 11. I was just thinking on his screen. Yeah, he's on 11.
The amount of rows. Yeah. And your flagship team being, I guess flagship does the highest one being the Mamba.
Yeah.
Which you said done back to back promotions. Had a terrific season in bronze last year. Would have come first if it wasn't for Sid having the strongest team in bronze. I think when you came on the
Yeah.
mid-season Patrick, we said it was statistically the strongest team in bronze. Went down to the last game of the season as well, albeit it was over in about the first 20 minutes of
Yeah.
because I think both of you won like stupid amounts or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And this is why I brought you on, Bruce, because I want to talk about promotions and what does it actually take to get promoted, because there's a lot of things involved in it. And seeing as you're someone who has been promoted recently a few times with the same club, going up probably, and unless you were to go from silver to gold as well, probably up the part of the pyramid where you see the changes the most, if that makes sense. Obviously, going up to silver, gold, platinum, diamond, there's considerable changes through there. But actually, going from a stone to a silver, you really see change in how the managers you play up against, the tactics you have to enforce, the investment needed, but almost, I guess, the seriousness of it all, really. So I've got a few topics I want to talk about regarding what does it actually take to get promoted. I sort of want to get your take on it. And I feel like maybe we'll get probably the most controversial one out of the way first. And it's just like variance, like how much of getting promoted is luck. Whether that be like your fixtures and how they get brought to you, sort of like suspensions, the engine. Is variance a factor, and is it one that actually has a meaningful impact on people getting promoted?
It can. It's not insurmountable. I don't
Yeah,
think it's insurmountable. I think you can work around it with certain stuff. But what league you get put in, can definitely play a factor. Like we were saying before, I got put in with Sid when I was doing all my testing against in the preseason for that. I was playing other bronze leagues and I was just going through the leagues. I'm pretty confident if I'd have been put in any other league, I would have won bronze. I'm
yeah,
pretty confident of that based on my testing that I did against the other teams in there. So yeah, that can definitely play a massive factor. Stuff like the engine you're on, whether you get a handle of it quickly. Like Kev last season, I think Kev could have finished 8th, 7th
yeah,
if they didn't have the issue with the red cards, because that was a big thing that kept costing him in
yeah,
games, in close games, he'd get a
yeah.
red card. And so it plays a factor. It's not insurmountable. You can work
Mm,
around it. You can still do it.
yeah.
But it is definitely a factor.
And one extra point I actually want to bring up around, like, depending on what league you go in, and there's something that I was actually thinking about earlier on in the week, which I think is probably worth mentioning because it might happen, is that with club delegation, we could see like small scale shuffles across the pyramid in terms of leagues. And I can imagine there'd probably be scenarios where MFL actually can't shuffle it to the point where every league has a unique owner in it. There might be opportunities where Spark, was it like Trust is in like what something crazy like 1/3 of all like Spark leagues or 1/3 of all like Ice League or something along those lines, right? And if he's delegating clubs out and he's got one in there, as well, if someone else has got a team in there, how are you going to do that? So I wonder if we'll see in some divisions, we'll see some small shake-ups. I, for one, wouldn't be, if that does happen, quite in like that, because I'm going to put my moaning hat on right now and say that I really despise my ladder in my pyramid for the Wyverns, because it is just, quite frankly, a rottenly strong ladder where I think you probably would have won it, but I think our one in terms of like the competition, probably this top 3 strongest bronze, but not just by like who's the strongest, but how much strength there is throughout it. Where I would look at the top 5 teams on their best 11 in our league and go, I think they win 70% of the bronze leagues, like the top guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck just get me out of it. Get me out of it. Because if it's going to be this bad, what's it going to be like in bloody silver and gold? It's going to be just as diluted. Yeah, don't know. Just like strong, concentrated. Sorry, not done it the other way. Concentrated up there as well. So I'm quite interested to see if they do change a little bit or not. but obviously there'll be some self-governance being involved by us as a community, because if we do have people in the same leagues, I guess one of them you could just say, for example, the BFC DAO has 3 platinum teams. So obviously there was 2 diamond ones last season, and that took them onto the final day of the season to get both relegated. So there will be eyes on that sort of thing. I think there'll be more eyes on results this season in case there are people who are involved. And I guess as well, if someone is a manager of a club and or so say manager of a club and sorry, manager of a delegated club, and they have their own one, they can see tactics of both. Which I guess one thing the owner can do in that situation is they can revoke permissions for tactics, play it how they want to, then give it back, so they won't be able to see the tactics. But if you're someone like Trust, for example, where that may not be a fact that he's really thinking about, that's still a lot of effort to go in there and figure out like who you're playing against, and I said on when he would stream with Laird during the week, I was like, what happens if like the Trust the Process Norwich plays against the Wents and Worms in a cup final? Like, Trust, what are we doing then, mate? What are we doing here? I guess you're revoking my permissions and you're managing us for that game. There's going to be some interesting situations that pop up. But would you be, happy if there was a little bit of a shuffle? Or
Yeah, I think I would, because like you, I think I've spoken about this with Zuta. The little pyramid, like the progression pyramid that we're in, is really competitive.
Yeah.
Like from ice to where I am now, there are always stacked teams in every division I've gone up. I've not had an easy promotion where I've just sat back and I've cruised it. It's always been really super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just for my blood pressure, it'd be okay, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just have a couple of seasons where it's a little more relaxed. I don't have to sweat as much, but it's I wouldn't mind. But if not, it's not a problem for me. It'll be okay. I've done. The way I look at it is, the harder it is, the easier it's going to be for me if and when I get to Diamond, because I will have gone through the slog.
Yeah.
So when I get up there, it'll be like, okay, I'm prepared for this. You know what I mean? So,
and you feel like you've deserved it as well, going up there, where I was going to say me just buys. People make all the jokes now. Oh, he gotta get to silver, so he just buys his way into plat. It's not quite like that, folks. It's not quite like that. I've been part of the DAO for like 2.5 years or so, but I think it's you don't feel like you've got imposter syndrome or anything like that. Where should I be deserved of this place in gold plus? Yes, and I've done it through being a particular part of the pyramid, or a particular part of it. Spoke about variance. Tactics, clearly something that matters when getting promoted. I know you'll definitely agree on that. How much has your focus been on tactics throughout, just say, Mamba's stone to silver? Has it always been the same concentration? Were you a bit more relaxed at the start and then a bit more on top of it in bronze? How has that been?
I'd say it's probably my biggest focus.
Yeah.
Always been my biggest focus. Because, I mean, people can say, oh, you can stack your team and you'll go up anywhere. That's not the case, because I've been in leagues with teams that are absolutely stacked and they've just got crap tactics and they get stuffed. So, tactics makes a big difference, and especially in those title chasing games where you're against someone competing with you. If your tactics are on point and you win, that's definitely going to make a difference. I think it's always been my main focus up the pyramids. I think the difference is that I've learned more as I've gone up.
Yeah.
I think so. Like in Stone, it was like I was doing stuff that I'd probably never do now, because I've gone up and I've learned, okay, that's, I can't do that at this level and stuff like that, so but yeah, that's my biggest focus. I think you've got to get it right. You absolutely have to get it right.
And when you say, and we can almost go from the start, like squad construction and how you make your teams, when you mean going from the start, that's that's what you mean by that. From day one of season 12 being open, you're making sure you're targeting the right players, bringing in. Do you think there's a part of, I don't know how to really, I'm just going to say it how I've got it worded here, like following the meta, is in you could maybe go against the grain with particular tactics and formations to be unique, and or do you think you do have to sort of follow a set couple of formations that will give you a better chance to try and get promoted?
I think some people will say there are stronger formations than others. I'm going to disagree.
I wonder who they are. Yeah, I wonder who they
Yeah.
are.
I'm going to disagree because I think what is more important with the formation is your player.
Family. No.
Fuck off. I think your formation has to suit your players and your players' stats. You could have a winger with 65 pace, but he's got 99 dribbling, but you can't get a tune out of him. I've got players in my agency that have been shit before they came to me. And you can see it in their player history. They've had terrible ratings. They've not done very well. And then they've come to me and I've played to their strengths.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they get ridiculous match ratings and goals, assists, and everything.
So I think
that's more important than the actual formation. You've got to make sure stuff makes sense. The players, the attributes. If you're trying to play direct, long ball counter-attacking football, but you've got a 6'5" striker with 50 pace, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because you've got no pace. You can't play direct. You can't counter-attack. You're going to have to build up a little bit more. You're going to have to work your way up there. So that's more important than the formation, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just lost my train of thought. Fuck my life. Yeah, you saying about the building your squads to your strengths, not shoehorning in players to fit a formation. Like, here's my best players in my squad. Like, what formation can I fit all them into? That's sometimes, and it's some people like, I want to play. I've got these players. What formation can I play? And it's like, you need to look at like how do you want to play? What formation you want to run, and then what players I need to bring in to allow me to get the best tune out of that. Kind of go at it backwards, because the last thing you want to do is look at your squad and go, like you said, playing direct or playing controlled, but all your players, can't pass. They've got 2 left feet, and they've got no aggression or no physical or anything like you. There's a bit of, dare I say, common sense involved at times. Yeah. Like I said to you before they started. Yeah, like I said to you before they started, you can swear on the pod, but use common sense when it comes to the words you say. It's a bit like go to tactics. Use your common sense, and sometimes you go, "Does that really make sense?" No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't bother doing it. You spoke a bit about sort of like different formations. As you went up the pyramid, did you find an increasing need to be adaptive and being able to and flexible, or I found opposite? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So below ice and below, I was running 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nice simple formation. I like it. Works well. Old school Man United. I like it. And then I got into Stern, and Kev suggested to me, like, I was liking how wingers looked. I was like, you know what? I want to play a 4-3-3. Kev suggested the 4-3-3-D. And so I gave it a shot. I got it working, and now I've not needed to change. Now I'm like, why should I adjust to my opponent and what my opponent's done? You come beat me. Like, if you want to adjust, go for it. But you come beat me. I'm going to do my thing. You try and stop it. Like,
I hope this never happens to you, but God forbid 4-3-3 doesn't perform as well in Engine. Do you think, do you have an agency or that could facilitate being flexible if it needs to be?
I will say this whole, if 4-3-3 doesn't, no. Any formation, can work. I'm running a 4-2-4 this season. That looks really good on one of my teams.
Oh
Looks
my
amazing.
word! You've been getting tactics from Rory and Blades. If so, I apologise. I apologise.
It's my own 4-2-4. But for example, 4-2-4 or 4-1-3-2 or anything, you can get it all to work if you're putting the right players in
Yeah.
to fit that formation, to fit that style you want to do. Then you can get any formation to work, any of them. So, you're just using the wrong settings, or you've built your squad incorrectly. It's as simple as that. That's how I look at it.
Shit tactics and a skill issue. I think that's
Skill issue. Skill issue. Yeah, skill issue.
Jarvis sends skill issue message. As you've gone up the pyramid, how much of your thought has been on creating a squad that's catered towards progression?
Well, I've got none for the last 2 seasons. It's less of an issue for me because of the way I'm playing at the minute. Right now, the way I'm looking at it is, I absolutely believe, not financial advice, but I absolutely
Good man,
believe,
I like that. Yeah.
I absolutely believe there is going to be a reverse power creep. 100% think there's going to be a reverse power creep. So my aim right now is to get up the pyramid as quickly as I can, as fast as I can. If I have to use old players to do it, cheaper older players, do it. Because while I'm doing that, I'm getting more and more MFL from my rewards. I'm able to buy more and more reward packs, which then filters in and gives me a better collection of younger players that I can develop while I wait for this power creep. So hopefully, if all being well, when this reverse power creep happens and the first generation of players all retire and suddenly rares become rare, I've got a nice collection of rare players that I've built up during this time that have been growing and progressing, and leave me set. So yeah, right now I'm not overly bothered. There's a couple of players I would love to get some progression, but they're just not doing it right now.
but yeah, you're saying as you go up the pyramid, it's not as big of a because of your theory, your prediction for what happened in. Did you say how many seasons do you think it will happen in?
16, 17.
I was going to joke and say 16, 17 and sign. Season 38, mate. He's just been on season 38. God forbid what the pyramid looks like as season 38.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And how many episodes will be on here and how many Yorkshire TXP done. Not bloody gazillions. But yeah, targeting progression is not your and I don't know, someone like Trust who likes the banding, Ron John likes the banding. I think maybe that's, and I'd like to see it to some of our listeners, if you come into our Discord or just on YouTube comments, how much do you focus on building your squads for progression? And in particular, for those who have, say, clubs iron and above, let's go, top half of the pyramid. How do you do it as well? So we've talked about variance, talked about tactics, a little bit about, the engine, being adaptable, that sort of thing. Obviously, there's the money side to it in getting promoted, where you've gone up the pyramid from stone to silver, which is a huge difference in terms of caliber of player overall wise and the strength needed, which obviously relates to the price. If you were to buy every single player fresh each season, it'd be going up and up and up. How have you done that over the last 3-4 seasons? Is it part ownership, part loaning in, all loaning in, targeting older players? How's that strap been?
For the most part, I've just done my own players. For the most part, I think this season is the first one where I've actively sought to learn players in, and I've only learned in 2. One of them was your right back. I remembered seeing on your stream, you were like, oh, if I don't get promoted, I might need to put him up into a higher division. So I was straight on that. I was like, hey, I'm getting my name in first.
I've got something fun to tell you as well. So Snake wanted him in gold. I know he'll be listening to this as well. And I was like, Bruce has offered me, and I said I would. So I'll like exercise that. I'll stick to my word, sort of thing. He's like, no, that's fine. I could have got more percentage out in sort of in gold, sort of thing, NFL wise. And I think it was about literally like couple of days later into season testing, he was like, "I really could do with your fucking centre back now, mate." I was
Sorry, Snake.
um, but yeah, so that's one only 2 players you've loaned in this season then.
Yeah, this season. And that's honestly just because I couldn't find what I wanted on the market, or what I did want on the market. They were like wildly overpriced. And I
Yeah,
did try to negotiate prices down, and they were like, no, I'm like, it's not worth that. I'm not going to overpay just for the sake of overpaying.
yeah,
But I think I'll probably have to utilize the loans a lot more as I start going up now. The good thing is, as we said earlier, I'm building trust with trust.
yeah,
And he's got a stacked agency at the top, and I think that's going to be valuable to me, because if I build the trust with him and I'm
yeah,
like, hey, I'm in gold. Have you
yeah,
got any players you want playing in gold? I'm going to have that. I'd imagine I'll have that available to me.
yeah.
So I'll probably start utilizing that a little bit more. But my first priority is always, can I own this player?
Mm.
But if there's nothing on the market,
Yeah.
loans are probably better.
And that is a really good point, which I hadn't really considered in when I was writing my notes for this. Is actually a part of the whole like investment piece is like the investment in your relationship with other managers, and you know, particularly those bigger agencies, and having the ability to tap into their agency and player supply, but also be like one of the top people or first people that they will like accept or they'll negotiate with. Um, I have a couple of managers who I can always rely on. I have a couple of managers that always come to me every season, and like I said, I can have a couple of uncommons, things like that, and you build that trust, with those managers. And I do wonder though, depending on how those agencies have set up like long term strategy or planning, how when these big retirements in 4 or 5 seasons or ever come into play, and we see your predicted reverse strength creep, how many players they have available to loan out if they're needing them for themselves, sort of thing. But I think we could see that. But so when you were saying that your players that you didn't loan in any in iron, you didn't loan in bronze because you didn't need to, was the reason why.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you
Yeah, yeah.
expect yourself to get promoted from iron to bronze to silver as quickly as you did?
See, it's weird because I got promoted to Stern.
Without hindsight.
Yeah. I got promoted to Stern, and I was like, okay, I'll sit here in Stern, and I'll just consolidate. It's my new highest I've ever been, and I think I came second to David, and lost out in the playoffs, and I was absolutely gutted about that. The next season, I won it, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm up in iron now. Right, I'll consolidate. Highest part I've been on the pyramid. I'll consolidate. One iron. And then I was
Mm.
in bronze. I was like, okay, it's time to consolidate. I've got a strong squad. I should maybe be pushing for promotion. I've got Sid in here. This is going to be crazy. And then I came second and went up through the playoffs. So it's kind of
Yeah.
not a lot I can do about it, really. I just keep
Yeah.
going up. So yeah, the aim, like I'm saying now, like I'm going into silver. It's going to be stacked. I need to
Mm.
consolidate. But if I halfway through the season I'm in second, that goes out the window, and I'm pushing for the title. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's
So what is your mindset and expectation going into season 12 for the Mamba and Silver then?
reality is I've got to think about survival first,
Yeah.
because I've seen the teams. I mean, obviously, if there's no shuffle, I'm going up with Sid, so he's strengthened that team, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Then I've seen the teams that are coming down. Calver's main team's coming down into silver,
R.I.P.
and that's pretty stacked team. And the other teams that are coming down, so it could be really hard. But like I said, if I'm 6 games in and I'm sitting pretty in second or third, then that's gonna. Oh, now we go for the title. It's gonna
Mm.
change really quickly. But
Mm.
main priority is survival. I've got to be realistic about it.
Yeah. So you're riding that momentum wave, but being the new kid on the block,
Yeah,
you're not going out without putting in 100%, and you could cause some upsets. To be fair, I'll relate this to IRL. I thought that Birmingham would do better than Wrexham this season in the Championship. And at the moment, I think it's Wrexham do better than Birmingham. I just thought Birmingham have the experience. They've probably have more money behind them as well, maybe potentially. And they've got just better caliber players. And I just hope Wrexham don't get fucking promoted to the Prem, man. I couldn't deal with it, man. I couldn't deal with it. But there is something about just being like the new team that no one expected to be there, so everyone writes off. Therefore, you just in a complete win-win scenario. Where if you get relegated, right, you were the new team on the block, and you may not have the caliber team in silver. But then if you beat them, then you win as well. So you got nothing to lose in that sense. So do you feel the pressure is on though? No.
I've got no pressure.
No.
I like
what
it.
Pressure's for tyres, as Mr. Shearer said.
I like the pressure. I think I'm capable.
Yeah.
Some people might see it as arrogance, but I'm confident in the work that I put in, and my knowledge of the engine, however it changes or whatever. I'm confident in myself that I can do well. Like you said, cause some upsets.
Yeah.
Some people might not have heard of who I am before, and they say, "Oh, who's this new manager? He's a newbie," and I go and smash them 3-0, and then they'll remember me. So yeah, I don't think the pressure. I welcome the pressure. Like it's like the trust stuff. He sent me his 2 most important teams. Like so, obviously, it's going to be a disaster if I do bad, but I want that pressure. I want, it's going to be easy.
Yeah. Diamonds made under pressure, mate. Diamonds made under pressure.
Exactly. And that's where I am to be. Diamonds.
And all some diamonds are quite old as well, so that kind of thing.
Fuck.
I'm messing with you, man. And obviously you do all the testing with the engine. So another saying I like to say is, well, it's not mine, but chance favours are prepared. So you put all that work in there for when engines do change for reasons like last year, and all the toys get thrown out the pram. Even though you do that, you're in a position to quickly adapt to it and just get on with it and just accept it. And then you just go, right, I did all that testing. It's kind of redundant and useless, but as long as I repeat that process again, but with the understanding of what has changed and why it's we don't even know why it's changed. We don't know what was changed apart from about mid-season, but if you do that process again, you'll be in a better position than most, and you've got the time and dedication for it. Across getting promoted these seasons, what do you think has been the biggest difference just throughout those divisions?
The caliber of manager you come up against.
Yeah,
definitely. In like Ice or even Stern, you'll get like a couple of teams that are just way underpowered for the division. You can smash them. It's free 8-0 win that week. You don't get that a lot when you go up. You get a lot of managers who are scouting you and actively trying to beat you. So yeah, it's mainly the competition for me. Is the caliber of managers. I've come up against guys like Sid now, who's a diamond manager. In the cup, I've come up against Ronan in the cup. I came up against him last season. Diamond manager, and that's what you start to see the higher you go up. There's not many easy games, because even if you've got an underpowered squad, they've got a good manager in charge of that squad, and they can cause an upset and they can beat you. So Samurai Soccer Club. That's Dane, right?
Oh, don't swear on the pod, please, mate.
You don't like him?
No, the S word.
Samurai?
No, the other one.
Yeah, but that's what his agency's
name.
No,
it caught me out before.
I agree.
It caught me out before. But yeah, that is Dane. Yeah, it's Dane.
Yeah, so Dane, he was in my bronze league, and he didn't have the strongest team. He was predicted 7th or 8th or something, but he was taking points off everybody around me. So when I came up against him, I was bricking it, because it's I've got the strongest squad, but he's clearly a good manager who knows what he's doing. Thankfully, I won. But
speaking of projections, as you've gone up the pyramid, or just in general, how much do you, let's say, use projections? It just sort of, seasons, the leagues are announced, quick look, bang. Like,
Yeah.
because some low down divisions, some people might swear by them. Maybe 5-6 seasons ago, a bit more usefulness to them because there were discrepancies in strength. But now, which I'm sure you'll agree with, how competitive each league is, each pyramid is, they're just numbers on a screen at this point.
Yeah.
And we all know that the engine and who's going to win is not as simple as big number in front of card is greater than your big number in front of card, therefore we win.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you spend much time on the projection stuff?
They're nice to look at. It's cool to see them when they come out. It's because
Yeah.
you're waiting for the season to start. So seeing the projections, nice, this is cool. But like you said, when you go up the things with you are less. Like for example, the Bronze League, Sid was above us, way above us. But from second down to 12th, there was like 3 overall difference.
Yeah.
But from second to 12th, like that's not a lot at all. It's really not a lot. Like, so yeah, I don't think they mean too much. For example, I'll shout out Hoodwink. He won his Bronze League.
Oh,
He was
unbelievable.
He was projected 12th, and he smashed it.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to look at while you're waiting for the season to start. It's something cool to talk about.
Yeah.
Don't put much
I give a lot of credit to Hoodwink last season because it's one of those, performances where someone goes, oh, you can't do much in bronze, like in those divisions without a strong squad. Well, look at where he was projected on paper, and look where he finished, and look at the performances and things. Like he had a little bit shaky towards the end of the season where things could have dropped away, but fortunately he ended up taking that crown. And I look forward to how he's doing. I think in silver he's not expecting the most. I think we're looking at his squad, but unless he's brought in a few things.
I've played him in testing, and it's a pain in the ass.
That's what I mean. Like
real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
He's going to cause problems in silver.
Some
people are going to say, 83s and 82s, he's going to get smashed, and he's going to beat them.
Yeah, especially if a particular man or managers go, well, it's a lower rated squad, maybe I can rotate against that. And they're the deadly ones when you rotate because you're assuming you're going to have a decent result against them and you don't. And then you kick yourself because you've lost a game, you're pissed up match XP, and you've also pissed up fatigue as well. And it's all just a combination of things. Before I ask you our final question, you've had a lot of success the last couple of seasons. Has there been shoulder, a lot of success? Go on, egg it more, Jimbo. Give it more beans. Has there been anything in those couple of seasons which haven't gone so well? Obviously not at the detriment of being promoted, but are there some things that were unsuccessful or did make some mistakes?
Progression.
Yeah.
Fuck progression.
Yeah. Is that then, would you say that one of the opportunity costs of getting promoted constantly and having that focus, or not focus on it, but getting promoted and being strong and having a tactical look on things, is that progression is the cost? Do you think there has to be a sacrifice to do what you did and it was progression?
I probably. Yeah, though it doesn't make sense to me because my striker last season, like he's got +1s. He hasn't got a +1 overall, but he's got +1s. And the guy averaged over his entire season like 8.1 over the entire season, scored 38 goals.
Yeah.
How has that guy not got a +2 overall?
Yeah.
Like what? How has that guy not rocketed up? Like, so it maybe is. It maybe is. I don't know, but in the white paper, it's if you get better match ratings, you get more XP.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just my recruitment. I don't recruit for. I'm not good at spotting progressors.
Yeah,
I'm
where's
just
your director of Metaverse Football? You wouldn't be given that title. That's what we're saying. You wouldn't be given that.
I think that's the problem because when I'm recruiting players, I'm recruiting for their stats now. Yeah. I'm not looking at
the season they're going to play, not the future ones. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your stats right now, and how will you fit into my team? If he gets progression, cool. But
yeah,
the focus is what are you like right now?
Yeah.
How can I use you right now?
And I guess, and that's all like your expectation. Like, what is your objective as an MFL player? To get promoted, to progress, to have fun, everything above. I think if you want to do everything there, something has to give. Whether it's if you want to focus on progression solely, I think wins is the giver. If you want to play sustainably and not have to use the marketplace or golf rewards, I think that promotions is probably the thing you give up because you're relying on variance, which we all don't want to rely on variance at the end of the day. Although I guess the one thing is now that we are in season 12, XP being owned by players, it's on average probably less because of the amount of players we have as an older age. And when they get past like 32, 33, their percentage, drops from like 100% to like 90%. It keeps dropping down. We don't know the exact specifics, but it does drop down. I solely anticipate and predict that this season we'll get the most moments of progression we've probably seen because everyone, us two included probably in that, why is my player not progressing? That sort of thing. So if you had to say what has the biggest impact in getting promoted from, we've mentioned variance, tactics, the engine, like investment, we'll call it, money, what would you put as, say, like your top two? I'll go.
So putting in the work.
Yeah.
You've got to put in the work.
Big grafter.
You've got to graft. Because there's things as well, like to use the example of one season, I'd done all the tactic testing in the world. I was confident, started the season, I'm going to smash this, nice one. After 6 games, I'd lost 1 and drawn 5. Now, most people will be, blame the engine, fuck the engine's shit, like, this is it, my tactics are perfect. Whereas instead, I took the other way, I was like, right, I've got to put in the work. So now I started my process again and went all the way through it again.
Yeah, trust that process.
6 games into the season, and then I won the title. So it's like, you've got to be able to put in the work. And if you see stuff, fix it. Don't be afraid to fix it. Don't do it too quickly. Like, because, after a span of 3 games, it might just be variance. But there'll be a point where I've got to fix this. And you've got to put in the work to fix it and find out what's wrong and how you can do it. Or I wouldn't have got promoted that season if I didn't do that. I'd have drawn 22 games,
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Would have been lost 22 games. You would have got invincible and an invincible season and still get relegated or something like that. Quite funny, something like that. Right. So our last question comes from Laird, and I asked it to James last week, and I said I was going to ask it to you as well. Obviously, you knew you were going to get asked it, but no one else knew you were going to get asked it because I knew you were coming on the pod. And I'm going to ask for your question for the next guest, which I didn't tell you to do beforehand, but hopefully you can figure out one. Perfect. So Laird's question is, quite simply, why do you keep playing MFL?
Why does a crack addict keep smoking crack? That's honestly, I'm hooked at this point. I'm hooked. My wife started playing because it was all I started talking about. Like,
she wants to get involved. She has FOMO.
Well, yeah, she could see the passion I had for it. She could see I enjoyed it, so she got involved. She's got 2 clubs now because of how much I talked about. Like, I love this game. Like, I'll promote it to forever. I love this game to anybody. So yeah, I'm addicted. It's too late. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm addicted to MFL. So,
so your missus plays, Blades missus plays, albeit I'm pretty sure it's just Blades, but maybe. Although when she did beat me, she did beat the WenDirk team in semi-final of the Masters or the Cup, and she did say like GG or something like that. Oh, that's kind of sweet. Like Blades was like, "Oh, you lost to a girl," and she's like, "Oh, GG." I'm like, cool. I think it's Leah, unless that's your missus. Yeah. I wonder how many other partners we've got playing MFL.
all sorts of, like Barky had his dad playing and stuff.
Yeah, and he'd text his dad like, "Oh, I picked up this player," and I was like, "I love that father-son combo." That's like,
it's cool,
that's
man.
That's what we want, and maybe we'll see lots of more family members join to get in the Flint staff league. Definitely not their best. Oh, their mate. It's their mate. It's their mate who's never played before. Family member. Anyway, Bruce, what is your question for our next guest, whoever it may be?
Can I ask anything?
I mean, anything is in like community questions to you earlier. Anything, or
like anything. Does it have to be MFL related?
No, but can we relate? Can I tie it in? Can I transition in or out of it when I ask it?
It's a psychology question.
Okay. Yeah.
The answer will tell you a lot about a person, like how they answer it and what they say. But what
Okay.
I'm going to say is fucking wild. And I know
Okay.
most people's reaction to it, I know exactly what they're, because when I've asked it before, they've had this reaction. But their answer, if they give a proper answer, will tell you a lot about a person's psychology.
Okay, go on.
Okay,
Fire away
so
with
yeah?
the question. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so it's a would you rather.
Oh, good lord.
Would you rather watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life, or join in once to make it stop? And it's that A or B. You've got to choose A or B. There's no option C. It's A or B.
Right, I think I'm going to struggle to get a guest on for the foreseeable. Do you want to come on? Nope, I've just finished the pod and I'm not coming on. But also, I've got to pick someone who might answer that.
Yeah,
as well.
It'll tell you a lot about their I know the subject matter, because they've got to get over the subject matters to start with, but then their answer will tell you a lot about how their mind thinks.
Yeah, that will tell us a lot. Maybe we'll tell them too much, but we'll. Right. Thank you, Bruce, for that question.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the answer.
I know.
You've got to answer it as well, Jimbo. You've got to answer it.
Okay. I was hoping you weren't going to say that.
No, you've got to answer it too.
Right. Before we wrap things up, just a reminder, folks, the hashtag of this week is who you think is going to win Diamond League in season 12. So, Bruce, your hashtag
Los Galacticos.
Los Galacticos. I'm a hashtag Ronin Meta Mercenaries. Input Nigel Farage. Boring. A little in there, but you know what? Boring.
You'll probably be right.
Sometimes wins predictions. Usually boring betters win. Bruce, a massive thank you for coming on today. Your first and hopefully not your last, maybe with all three of you boys in the studio. Thank you for being on, sir.
Honestly, the honour is all mine. Big fan. Honestly, since I joined MFL, you guys, you and Calver as well. It's a shame he's not here. Good luck to Calver. I hope he's doing well with his with his child, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, big fan. So honour to be here.
Appreciate that, my man. And of course, those who haven't tuned in to the Yorkshire TNXP and the great podcast they do over there, if you want to hear more about Bruce and how he does all his tactical processes and all the magical stuff about tactics, they have their famous Tactics Corner, where you can hear from not just Bruce, not just Big Mr. K, but Mr. Root Cause as well. Particularly a good listen when there's wingers involved, because his agency's been for it.
This week as well.
Yeah, his agency has been for it. So make sure you go listen to that. We'll put it in the YouTube and the Spotify show notes. And make sure you join the Discord as well. There's some great stuff in there. So thank you all so very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you this time next week in an episode of the WenDirkCast. Thank you for listening.